I'm Jack Hour, and welcome to Half Hour with Jack Hour. Believe it or not, I only have 2 more months left of high school, and I gathered 3 of my friends, and we're going to talk about how to survive high school. So, let's start with 9th grade, and I also want to introduce Abby Wright, Nicole Sheely, and Tori Shee. Welcome. So, let's talk about 9th grade. What do you think is really important when you start here at Nauset the first year?
I would say choosing the right classes, definitely picking things that are interesting to you and that you think maybe you'd want to pursue more in the future, because starting early can guarantee that you achieve a lot in those classes by the time you're done with your 4 years.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also trying to establish a balance, because you don't want to be too focused on college yet since it's only your first year, but you don't want to completely just say, this is my freshman year, I don't have to give any effort. So you think that establishing a balance is very important freshman year.
Yeah, I also agree with that. And also freshman year, something I wish I could change going back is I wish I had taken more difficult classes in freshman, sophomore year, because that really establishes what your GPA is going to be. And that's something you don't really know about going into high school, but challenging yourself and taking higher level courses is really important.
I guess it's like better to start out strong opposed to like your sophomore year taking more honors and AP classes, because I guess with your freshman year you can experiment more, while like sophomore and junior year you have to really take those harder classes if you want to really boost up your GPA. So I would definitely think like freshman year is a time when you should try out different courses you haven't taken before. Your freshman year, were you guys involved in any clubs, sports, or any other school activities?
I wasn't really at all. That's something that I wish I had done a lot more of, is that I only started sports in my junior year of high school, and it's something that really like brought me closer to a lot of my friends and made me feel like I had different kinds of friend groups. And so I would definitely say if you are interested in any kind of sports, even if you're not sure if you're going to like it, just do it, especially in your freshman and sophomore year, because it means you can get good at it by the time you're a senior.
Yeah, I didn't do any clubs or sports either freshman year, and that was something I definitely regret. And I would definitely say go for it. Like, even if you don't know if you'll like a club, I would just say do as many things as you can, because you can always not do it the next year, but definitely try it to see if you like it, and that's something I wish I did.
Yeah, my freshman year I actually did fall and winter cheerleading, and then I also did golf in the spring. And I continued with golf my 4 years, but cheerleading I only did freshman year. And although it wasn't like the sport that I really enjoyed the most, it was good to meet a lot of friends and sort of, because I came from charter, so from charter to Nauset, it introduced me to a lot of girls in the Nauset school district. So even though it wasn't, something I had a passion for, it was great for meeting new people.
And how about community service? Did you guys do any community service your freshman year?
Not a lot. No,
Not a
I would
lot.
definitely say that's something that you want to start early with as well.
I remember there was Nauset Cares Day my freshman year, which I think a lot of freshmen did.
I did that.
And I think this year we're also doing Nauset Wednesday again. So I mean, I think there are opportunities for freshmen definitely to get involved in their local community. From 9th grade, do you guys remember any major projects that you did in
Freshman
classes?
project, Western Civ
Yeah,
with
mine
Mr.
too.
Hicks. Yeah, that was definitely good, I think, to start out with, because you have a lot of presentations throughout your high school career. So I think that was very beneficial for later on, because it really forces you to find information and present for 10 minutes and get in front of your class. So
Yeah, I know I took honors Western Civ with Miss Kirstein, who's not here anymore, my freshman year. And we had to present for 15 minutes, and we had to make a model. So that was something that really set up my idea of what a lot of projects would look like for the rest of my 4 years, and it kind of taught me how to accurately do a presentation and do it well.
Yeah, and it also teaches you sort of research and looking up information.
Citing sources.
Yeah, and references are a big thing you do through high school, so that was big.
And let's go back to classes. So we were just talking about AP and honors courses. You can't take AP classes your freshman year. I don't believe you can. Maybe there's an exception for maybe someone, but it's mostly honors courses that you can really take and challenge yourself with. So Tori, you were saying that you didn't take honor classes your freshman year, right? Not as many as you would like.
I took 2 my freshman year.
2?
I took French 2 honors and honors physics. And they were okay. I mean, it was a starting point, but I kind of wish I had done like honors history or some more honors classes.
I think I took all honors courses except for English. And did anyone take honors English?
I
with Miss
did,
Esso?
yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
How was that?
I liked it. It was, I think a lot of people, that class gets kind of a bad rap, and I think that she actually instilled a lot of really important skills in me for writing essays, sourcing, references, and all that kind of stuff. It's a really, really hard course, but it's definitely one that you want to take and put a lot of effort into.
I heard it was difficult, but after like the class was completed, people said it was very beneficial, especially when
Definitely.
it came for like writing in 10th, 11th, and 12th grades, and even going into college. And how about homework your freshman year? How did your homework compare then to sophomore, junior, and senior years?
I think I had more homework then than I've had the rest of my 4 years,
Really?
honestly. I think freshman and sophomore year I had a much bigger homework load than I had my junior and senior year.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah, and for me, I honestly have not had that much homework throughout my
Me either.
entire high school career. Going into it, I was expecting like
2 to 3
hours
a night.
every night.
Yeah.
But for me, even I did take honors and AP classes, but even with those, I didn't find that I was spending more than maybe an hour. Every night, except with exceptions,
Essays,
obviously.
projects,
But
stuff like that. But beyond that, I
Yeah.
think I would agree with that completely. I didn't ever feel like there was a time when I had such an excessive amount of homework that I couldn't get it done.
Now let's move over to 10th grade. Did you guys prefer 9th grade or 10th grade in retrospect?
Definitely 10th.
10th?
I think after your freshman year, you're kind of used to the way that Nelson is structured, the classes, teachers, and stuff like that. I think, especially coming from charter, which I know that me and Tori both did, there are a lot of things that you kind of have to get used to when you're going into a new school district. And I think that by the time you get to your sophomore year, you're pretty much used to that. So,
Yeah, I think sophomore year was a lot better because you do establish like friend groups and you have friends and you know, like Abby was saying, you know kind of the ropes and you know how everything works and where everything is. And you're also not labeled really as a freshman anymore, which I think is a big
a lot of
thing.
people don't like
Yeah.
that. Yes.
Yeah, so I think 10th was a lot better.
Yeah, I agree. My sophomore year was a lot smoother, I think, because that year I joined volleyball, and then I didn't do a winter sport, and then I did golf in the spring. And I found that not having a winter sport was kind of nice to have a little downtime, but also to have the sports to keep myself busy.
And in 10th grade, I think it's also important to develop relationships with your teachers more. Like freshman year, you really like have that introduction phase with some of your teachers. You might not have them again in 10th grade. But I know for me, like for government, I had Mr. McNamara for those 2 years. And he really like, I guess, made me want to go into government politics for my career. So like, was there any teachers that you guys had that definitely like, kind of like maybe shaped you as a person for your later interests in high school?
I know I started taking classes with Lisa Brown my freshman year, and I think my sophomore year I ended up taking 3 classes with her, I'm pretty sure. But she definitely shaped my interest in like human rights and social issues for the rest of my 4 years, which I think is why I ended up taking SWS, in which we talk a lot about different social issues and things like the Holocaust and race and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say any of the ERD or World Cultures curriculums did that for me.
Were there any classes you guys took that you think are related to what you're going to study in college? Or kind of like opened you up?
Well, I've taken the video tech classes my 4 years throughout high school, and from those I've sort of found a passion for, video production. So I think in college I'm going into broadcast journalism, and it's because of the classes here that I was able to find that passion.
Freshman year, I had English with Miss Bentz, and she really pushed me, and I feel like that's kind of why I want to major in education and double major with education in English. And ever since then, I've really fell in love with the English classes here. And so I think that having like a teacher that you really love and that can push you, and finding a teacher like that will really help guide you to find what you want to do.
And MCAS is in 10th grade too, and it's actually coming up this week. So I guess how was your MCAS experience? Your last MCAS, because that was the last time you ever took it.
I feel like I honestly didn't think that much about MCAS really at all. It's something that you have to do in order to graduate and something that you have to pass in order to graduate, but you only, I think, need a 40% or something like that in order to pass.
I think you need like a high needs improvement or something like that.
Yeah, to pass, but it's, it's not really something that you think about all that much. You kind of need to do it, get it done, and think about it for the week or so that you're doing it, but it's really not that big of a deal.
Did you feel prepared for the MCAS in 10th grade?
Yeah, definitely.
Very
Definitely.
prepared.
Yeah, I felt
Very
prepared. And we also have the long comp
A long comp,
in
yeah.
10th grade, and
Yeah.
it's basically just writing an essay.
Yeah.
So I think a
Which
lot
you
of
do a
people.
lot of.
Yeah, very prepared for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And do you think 10th grade is an essential year to really know kind of where you want to go after high school? Because, I mean, for your 11th and 12th grade, do you think you have to figure out kind of in your 10th grade what you want to take next year?
I don't really feel like it's essential. I didn't really know what I wanted to do or where I wanted to go after high school until really the beginning of my senior year. So I feel like 10th grade is kind of also more of an exploratory year.
Exploratory year?
Yeah, I don't think you need to know where you want to go yet. I mean, exploring possibilities, kind of finding maybe a couple different options would be helpful for your later years, but I don't think it's essential.
Yeah, I think 10th grade is the perfect time to start looking at colleges and just getting
I
an
agree.
idea
I agree.
if you
agree.
want to, like,
Don't
big
wait till
school,
junior
small
year.
school. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't wait.
It's never too early.
Yeah, but I think it's if you take challenging courses throughout your high school career, then you don't need to know like where you want to go because you'll be prepared for anywhere if you've taken challenging courses.
I agree.
I think for 10th grade too, you should definitely get ahead on the college process. So definitely visit schools because it makes like so much less work you have to do your junior year. Also do the PSAT because then you are more in sync with the actual SAT test because sometimes kids can take the SAT test and not really know what
What
the
to
exact
expect.
format is. Even though you think you do, it's really all about the time. And I think that's always a challenging thing. So just to have that many more practices makes it that much easier. Also, 10th grade is driver's ed. Did any of you take it here at the school? I did
did.
not. I took it
I
at
did.
AAA
I
in
took
Dennis.
it here.
I
Yeah.
did also.
And I guess that was that.
I mean, to be honest,
I know it's necessary.
It's necessary. It stinks, but it's necessary. It's really annoying to be here until 6:30 every night for 2 weeks, but it's something that everyone has to do, and you just kind of gotta grin and bear it, take good notes, and make sure that you're paying attention so that you can take the test. And if you pass, then it's over, and you can move on to getting your license. So it's just kind of a push through and persevere kind of thing.
Yeah, you just got to do it and get it over with. And it's only going to help you for when you're ready to drive and start driving. So yeah, it sucks to be there late, like Abby said, every night, but you just got to do it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is pretty much common sense stuff.
Yeah.
But it's good to know like specific laws, I guess. And also, if I could recommend anything, I would say do it with your friends.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
if your birthday's early and you could be the first one to do it, I would do it with a group of friends because
Yeah.
that makes it a lot more bearable.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything else on 10th grade? Or do you think 10th grade was covered?
I think it was pretty much covered.
Yeah.
Pretty uneventful year, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think 10th grade was my favorite year for some reason. I don't know
Really?
why, but that was just kind of, you weren't a freshman, so you weren't known as the freshman, and you didn't have to necessarily like start doing college applications and stuff like that with junior year. But do you think junior year is the most important year of your high school?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think so too. And I know people would think it's senior year because that's the year that you hit submit on all your college applications, but it's really not because that's where most of your grades, most colleges are looking at your junior year grades and like a semester of your senior year grades. So what did you guys do your junior year? Like were you guys involved with any clubs that year, unlike freshman year?
I know that I started playing sports that year. I did winter track, which I know Tori did with me that year as well. And I'm not going to lie, that was, I was really not good, and it was really hard for me to kind of persevere through that. But it was good, I think, to try something new. I also did golf, like Tori said, and that was amazing. And I'm doing it again this year, and I love it. So I think I got a lot of new experiences in my junior year. But I would honestly say that junior year was my hardest year and probably my worst year of high school.
I would agree.
I would agree with that too.
Except for some weeks in senior year.
Yeah.
I mean, senior year overall isn't a bad year, but college applications are due, scholarships are due, which is this week.
This week, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
We're all
the last
very
couple of weeks
stressed.
have been dreadful.
Yeah.
But
quite.
I would definitely say junior year was kind of stressful, especially, I don't know, I thought the workload my junior year was a little harder than previous years.
Yeah.
And Tori, were you involved with any clubs?
Yeah, like Abby said, I did winter track with her, and then I also did golf, and I also did volleyball that year, and I'm part of the Key Club as well. So I was in that. And honestly, opposite to you guys, my junior year was probably my favorite year here.
Favorite year.
The only stressful thing about it, I thought, was the SATs. Other than that, I loved my
Yep.
classes.
I agree.
And I thought it was a good year.
The SATs were not my
Yeah.
favorite. And how about AP classes? How many AP classes did you guys take your junior year?
I took one, and it was my first AP class. I took AP Psychology with Mrs. Cobold, and it ended up being my favorite class I've ever taken here at Nauset. It was extremely interesting, and it was challenging, but she is an amazing teacher, and I fell in love with that course.
That's my biggest regret. I never
Yeah,
took AP Psychology.
I quite literally would say the same thing. Junior year, I took AP Psychology as well. That was my only AP class that year because I took AP European History the previous year. But Miss Cobalt is incredible, and if I could recommend one class to take, it would really be that one. She's one of the best teachers, I think, at Nauset, and I had such an incredible experience in that class. So, and I got a 5 on the exam, so she's
Yeah.
a really good teacher.
And I'm minoring in psychology now because of her in that class, so
Nice.
amazing.
And how about you, Tori?
I took AP Lang my junior year.
Me too.
Yeah, so that was my only AP that year. But this year I'm taking AP Psych, and it's definitely one of my favorites.
Going back to sophomore year, I took AP Government Politics, which is by far my favorite class I've ever taken here. And then junior year, I also took AP Language and Composition, and I took AP United States History, which I think everyone should take because I find so many history references in every class that I take. How about community service your junior year? Do you find that colleges look at community service as much as we are told they do? Or do you think, did you guys get involved in community service a lot thinking, oh, I have to apply to college, I have to show that I did this?
I don't think it's necessarily stressed as much in your application as a lot of people make it out to be.
I would say the same
Yeah.
thing.
I know
agree.
that junior year I started tutoring with Tori and some other people at the Lighthouse Charter School, which is where we went to school, to do some volunteer hours. And I didn't really do that much, but I don't really think it impacted my application in any way. I would definitely say if you have the opportunity to do community service, do as much as you can because it's great for your character and great for the community, obviously, but I don't think it is vital to your application.
My junior year, I did over 100 hours of community
Oh, wow.
service in a year.
Did you get a break?
Yeah, do you get a break?
I think so.
I think so, yeah. So yeah, I did a lot of stuff through my church. We went on a mission trip, so that was big. And then to Philadelphia we went. And then I also do a club called Destination Imagination. And through that we do the community service challenge, I guess. And so we've worked with Habitat for Humanity, Cape Cod, and the American Red Cross. So I've gotten a lot of hours through that. And then also tutoring with Abby. So I've done a bit.
And going back to the SATs, did you guys take any SAT prep courses?
No.
I didn't
No.
know.
Do you regret not taking SAT prep courses?
No.
No.
I would agree. I paid a lot. I paid a lot in tutoring online, and I didn't do anything in person. But in the end, it was a waste of money. I mean, for some people, it works. I know some people that have got their scores up at least 100 points. But I think you kind of know what you know, and you can't really teach yourself things that you're not gonna
I
be able to
agree.
do on the test.
Yeah.
I know that the first time I took the SATs, I got a pretty good score, and then I thought maybe I could get it up, so I watched didn't take them a second time, and my score actually went down.
Same.
So
Yep.
I don't really think that. I think you kind of know what you know, and you stay in the same range no matter how many times you take it, unless you are some sort of genius.
I know they offer one here at the school, but it's not one that I don't think you can really necessarily have a personal one-on-one to address your main
Yeah.
issues. So I mean, what I did was I just talked to my math teacher. I would have a book and I would go in ask them how to do certain problems. But so SAT, and did anyone take the ACT here? No. Do you wish you had looked at the ACT test?
No.
I heard it was a little easier than the actual SAT from a couple of my friends, so I think that might have been
I found
a
it
good
easier.
option, but yeah.
So junior year is also the year you get your license. So we're just talking about driver's ed in 10th grade. I mean, some people get their licenses in 10th grade.
I
but
got mine in 10th grade.
Majority get them in their junior year, I would say, maybe over the summer. Is there any advice you have about driving? Does it make your schedule at school easier?
Oh yes, I would say it's amazing because you feel like you have so much freedom. And you really do, like, you kind of have the opportunity to join more clubs, do sports and
Yeah.
stuff like that, because you don't have to have your parents come pick you up or like get someone to drive you home and stuff like that. So it's really nice to have that freedom, but also with that freedom, sounds cheesy, but there does come a lot of responsibility, and you do have a lot of things that you have to pay for. Like, you have to, if you want your own car, you have to, for a lot of people, they have to buy it. I know I did. I pay for my insurance, and I paid, for an accident that I got in. So there is a lot that comes along with driving that you have to be responsible for, and as a junior, it's a lot to take in.
Now, before we move on to senior year, did any of you ask your teachers for recommendations in your junior year at the
Yes.
end before summer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked my junior year, and I think you really should ask
Yeah.
the end of your junior year
Absolutely.
to give teachers
Definitely.
enough time, and then maybe if they don't follow up with you, contact
Ask
them
again.
beginning of senior year. But
Absolutely.
yeah, that's definitely something you should do the end of junior year.
It's better to ask early
Yeah,
than wait.
Yeah.
especially before the week and applications
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So senior year is most definitely the best year of high school because
Yeah.
you're wrapping things up, especially where we are now. After scholarship week, it gets much easier.
Yeah.
So senior year at first is difficult, I would say, especially
Stressful.
balancing
Very,
between the
very
applications and keeping up your grades so colleges get those. What would be your advice reflecting back on a couple of months ago?
I would say start as early as you can. As soon as applications open for schools that you want to go to, get them in. Just start working on things. Do your Common App over the summer. Fill
Yes.
out your Common App over the summer. Like that. I don't know how many times I
And
can
work
say
on your
that.
personal statement too. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
perfect, but if you have like a rough draft and you bring it in to maybe your English teacher, they can look it over so you can keep on revising. That's also
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
important.
Don't put it off, for
Yeah.
sure. Because I know with me, I kept procrastinating it and getting my college essay done, and that won't help you at all. So just work on it a little bit at a time and give yourself enough time so you're not stressed out.
Yeah, and I know that if you do things early, it really does pay off. Like, for example, I applied to every single one of my college's early action, and so I knew from all of them by mid-January, I had my admission decision for every single one. So then I could
wow.
just spend that time
True.
thinking about
Yeah.
where I wanted to go and visiting schools that I hadn't been to yet.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't find the college process to be that stressful because I did all my stuff over the summer and the first few months of senior year. So I think that's the biggest thing that you can do. Just manage your time well and get stuff done.
And do you think the classes here were understanding of the college process during your senior year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
The workload?
Yeah, I took SWS, and I know that we work a lot in those classes with our college essays, applications, and stuff like that. So they allow a lot of time for people that maybe need to do some catching
Yeah.
up or need to check things out to do that.
Tori, do you have any thoughts on this?
I found that a lot of teachers would say, "Oh, you guys are so stressed. You have so much
Yeah.
going on," but then they would go and assign like a big project or
Mm-hmm.
a couple essays, or like they would talk about it in class and be sympathetic, but then they would go and kind of make it worse.
But wait a second. So let's talk about where we're going next year. So Abby, I know you decided where you're going to go to school. How did you know where you wanted to go?
I honestly, until about a month ago, had no idea where I wanted to go to school. I had applied to 8 schools and gotten into every single one. And so,
congratulations.
thank you. So I kind of I'd only visited one of the schools that I applied to, and I was kind of stressed out because I really
Which one
didn't
was that?
know. Champlain College in Burlington, Vermont. And I liked it, but I didn't really want to be in the cold, and it was just kind of stressful. I'd applied to schools all over the map and didn't know if I would even be able to go see them all. I had to rule things out before I could even go there. So it was kind of stressful, but then over my February vacation, which was only like a month ago, I visited Florida State University in Tallahassee and just fell in love with it. I knew as soon as I walked in that was where I wanted to live and that I could be there. And so I decided to go there for computer criminology.
Great.
And I'm actually going abroad next year to London for 3 semesters.
exciting.
Yeah, so I'll leave in August and live in London for a year and come back in August. So I'm really excited about that.
And how about you, Nicole?
I don't know where I'm going to go yet. I am still waiting for my decision letter from Simmons, but I applied to all state schools because I knew that I wanted to be close to home but not too close, and it's also cheaper if you our
Yes, it is.
state. Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure where I want to go, but I know that I'm majoring in elementary education with minor in psychology. So
great.
yeah.
How about you, Tori?
I also don't know where I'm going to be going next year, but
Do you have any top schools?
I really like Emerson,
Emerson?
right now, but I'm also not sure. I'm still waiting to hear back from a couple schools. But yeah, I also applied pretty much all in Massachusetts for the most part.
So not,
What about you, Jack? I know you just got a big decision.
So exciting news.
well, I think I might be going to DC, or maybe staying in the Boston area, either Northeastern University or potentially Georgetown University. And
She just got into.
Yeah, and George Washington. So I have now a top 3 I have to choose from, but
very proud.
figure it out. So not all senior year is about college. There are a few fun things, especially like prom. So prom is coming up. So what are you guys looking forward to about prom?
I'm so excited for
I
prom.
know, Abby, you're an expert because you hosted
Yes,
a
I
prom
just did
episode.
a show called Prom Talk where I talked all about what we're going to be doing for prom. But basically, I'm so excited, and I think it's probably going to be the most fun part of senior year. That and our other like kind of senior week activities will be really awesome, and I think it will be great at the end of the year just to kind of sit back and enjoy where we've all gotten. And I think
Yeah.
we should all be really proud of everything that we've done, and it's going to be exciting to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super excited for prom. I feel like it's one of the last times we will all kind of be together as a class.
That's like crazy to think about.
I know.
Yeah, and
2
it'll
more
be
months.
so fun. And you
It's
look
crazy.
forward to it since like
Your
freshman
entire
year.
4
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, so I'm
It's your
really
big night.
And
Yeah.
other senior activities are the Beachcomber, where there's like a yearbook signing, I think is still
Yeah.
happening.
Senior skip day.
Senior skip day, that's
I'm
right.
excited for that.
Senior prank, I think, is still happening.
Yeah.
but I'm not really sure.
Not sure what it
I have
is,
no
but
idea. And then comes graduation. So there's a lot to look forward to. And
Yeah.
I guess like in the next 2 months on Half Hour, we'll kind of talk more about maybe prom, senior activities, and graduation. Is there anything else you guys want to add about senior year?
have fun, you know.
Yeah.
Enjoy
Do
it.
as many fun things as you can, because you're definitely going to wish that you had more time, and it flies. Like,
by
really,
so fast.
it flies. Everyone says that it does, and you don't really think about it until
I
you get
didn't
to
think it
senior year.
would, but it
I didn't
did.
think it would
It
either,
did. I
and my
think it
previous
would.
3 years hadn't flown by at all. I felt like I was stuck there, but this year I feel like I blink and a month has passed.
March is always the slowest month, and March absolutely
It's almost over.
went
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
so quickly.
Crazy.
So that's going to conclude Half Hour Jack Hour. I want to thank Abby, Nicole, and Tori for joining me. And I'll be back real soon, and we're going to be wrapping up Half Hour Jack Hour because there are only 2 more months left, but because I don't have really any more college things to do, hopefully I'll be hosting a few more episodes before I leave. So yeah, this has been Half Hour Jack Hour. I'm Jack Hour. Thank you, and goodbye.